This week we tour a golf course unlike any other in the world, the Rotorua Golf Club.
Hi everyone, and a warm welcome to the ING Golf Club. Great to be back with you. Well, this week on the show we make a midwinter visit to one of the jewels in the tourism crown, Rotorua. More especially the Rotorua Golf Club, a course with a great tradition.
We'd heard plenty about the Rotorua Golf Club, so we made the 3-hour trip south of Auckland to experience for ourselves the famed layout which Gene Zarazin fell in love with. And we were met by a breathtaking sight, a frosty Rotorua morning and steam searing off the geothermal Lake Ariki Kapakapa. Ariki Kapakapa, as the Rotorua Golf Club is commonly known, translates into boiling mud pools. It's the defining feature of the Rotorua Golf Club. It makes playing there like no other place on Earth.
You're playing in a volcano. It's a sort of pretty unique thing. We call it a thermal course, but the reality is the whole Rotorua Basin is a volcano crater, and so we have a lot of thermal activity around the course. It's really interesting.
For club pro John Weston, who was born in Rotorua before living in England for more than 20 years, the golf course is simply one of a kind.
It could be possibly the only geothermal golf course on the planet, and so obviously we're quite unique and very proud of that fact.
This is one course that you don't want to try to fetch your ball from the lakes. Rotorua is one of the oldest clubs in the country. It's an extensive history that dates back to the turn of the 20th century.
The club started off at Pukeroa Hill, which is now what's known as the hospital here in Rotorua, in 1906. It shifted to a farm temporarily after that, and in 1912 the first 9 holes were opened here. The club members got a lease from the government, and they had to roll all the scrub down by hand or with a horse and create the first 9 holes. And in 1919 they opened the second 9 holes, and the club's progressed from there to what it is today.
The club celebrated its centenary in 2006. Inside a beautiful old clubhouse, you can read about some past heroes of the Rotorua Golf Club. Brenda Ormsby won the New Zealand stroke play 7 times and the match play 3 times. She's a legend of New Zealand golf. Rotorua has been the breeding ground for some prodigious talent. Asian tour pro Bradley Isles began his golf there. Up-and-comer Sam Hunt and New Zealand rep Landon Edwards are recent players from Rotorua. It's a course that has shaped the games of some of our best. So, what is the real challenge of Rotorua?
It's a relatively short course, but very difficult to beat. You very rarely get a flat lie, for instance, in the fairways. It's all up and down, and those humps and hollows are created in the course by the thermal activity. There's not much we can do about it. We can fill them in, and 5 years later there's another one appears somewhere else, so we just live with that.
John begins our course tour at the par 4 third, where course management is the key.
Well, the third hole's the hardest hole on the course, stroke hole 1, and to have it so early in the round is a real challenge. You've got to watch what you're doing off the tee. You've got a hot water stream that runs right across the fairway, so you've got to negotiate that off the tee, and then you're playing to a green which is trapped on the right-hand side, and it's got a cliff basically on the left-hand side running down to another hot water stream, so it's quite a difficult hole.
At the end of the back 9, a long par 3 awaits. You'll either hit the green or the bush.
That really does embody everything about geothermal. Unless you miss the green on the right-hand side, you really don't know how difficult that hole is. It's got another geothermal piece of activity on the left-hand side. You've got to be completely accurate, and there's nowhere to land but the green.
On to the back 9, where the course comes alive, literally. The geothermal activity of Rotorua is world famous, and you can enjoy it up close on your round at Ariki Kapakapa. It's the time for the feature hole of the golf course, the par 3 14th.
That's our new signature hole. It's another par 3. It was created about 6-7 years ago, and we used to have 2 par 3s which have now been joined into one, and it's created a wonderful panorama across the Rotorua golf course with a backdrop of the redwoods, and there's a real test. You've got geothermal lake on the right hand side, another hazard on the left hand side, and a very undulating green sloping from back to front, so it's a very difficult shot.
It's a spectacular sight to behold. International visitors will fall in love with Ariki Kapakapa, and so will locals. Rotorua is a great place for a weekend road trip. Up next, the geothermal activity comes into play again at the Par 4 15th.
Again, wonderful panorama across the hot steaming lake, and obviously a hazard there on the right-hand side, another geothermal hazard on the left-hand side, bunkered at the front of the green, another difficult hole. People do walk off the course and comment on that back corner of the course, how wonderful, how beautiful it is, and how scenic it is. So I guess if you're playing badly, it's not a bad thing.
The 16th is another scenic treat that also circles the lake before you finish your round at the testing 18th.
It's a bit of a challenge because you've got a couple of big pine trees down the bottom that you've got to negotiate. So off the tee, it's quite key. Your bigger hitters are going to try and either go left of those trees or over the top of them and leave themselves a little pitch to the green. But ideally, setup is key off the tee. You really need to position your tee shot, then you've got a nice shot between two trees into a almost rolling green. You know, it's almost like a set of waves frozen on the beach. You've got three tiers to negotiate, and it's not an easy par.
The Rotorua Golf Club is a local club that you have to experience for yourself. Many golfers arrive at this course ready to burn it up.
They think it's a bit of a pushover when they look at the yardage, and some famous players have played here over the years and have been humbled too when they've played. If you can break par here, you've played a super round of golf. You'll play here once and you'll want to play again because now you know where you're going and what you're doing. You'll have a lot more insight into how to play the course.
It stands alone for its unique nature of coming across geothermal activity at every turn on the course. But it's also a great test of golf and has a distinct natural history and club history, and that's sure to continue.
Rotorua is about the thermal activity. Wakaroa is straight across the road, which is a world famous tourist attraction, and we're part of that, I guess. So yeah, it's the thermal uniqueness that makes Rotorua and Rotorua Golf Club.
Playing Ariki Kapakapa, the Rotorua Golf Club is experiencing an environment like no other in the world. And after your round, it's back to your Chrysler Voyager to see how the pros and others do it on the ING Golf Club.